All right. Tons of technical difficulties resulting in me not getting in this draft. But who do we have here, Rob, in your first two picks?
Yeah, welcome to another stream of the Fantasy Sports Matrix podcast show, whatever you want to call it. So, Hochberg and I are in this stream right
Matrix.
now. Let me go over to that tab. All right,
Where is
so
Hochberg? Why aren't you here, Hochberg? Get in the stream, bro. You
he said he
messed
was
it up. Oh my
he said he was taking a shit or something. Uh,
god. Jerk
so
off.
let's see. Go to my team right now. I got Tyreek and Waddle going for probably a little
Yo,
Miami
love
stack
that.
here. See what happens. I
Love
got a
that.
couple of these. I'm very high on Hill. I like him there. Pat Mahomes was available. All right, so
Olave.
yeah,
It's the pick.
yeah, I like Metcalf too. I'm probably gonna rotate between Olave and Metcalf a bunch here, but for this, I'm going
I'm so
Hill.
annoyed that I'm not drafting right now. This is very frustrating.
Yeah, I feel bad. Um,
Don't feel bad. It's Hawk's fault, dude.
that is true. Let's see. Hawk went Jacobs, taking the value. So interesting start for him, getting a little Allen Diggs stack. I think I'm probably not taking Allen unless I
No
have
way.
Diggs in that location. It's the same thing with Mahomes. Like if I have Kelsey, I'll be interested, and maybe I'll sprinkle in a little bit of uh of
Where's
Dak.
Mahomes going these
Yeah, so
days?
so Mahomes, he's usually going closer to this ADP 15, 16, so like kind of in between Allen and Hurts, but he fell a little bit here because yeah, so he fell to the Kelsey guy. I think we're going to start seeing that a little bit more that the the guys in the second round, the early second round, are going to go skill position player and maybe Hurts, maybe you match up Diggs, and I think these wide receivers should be going in the top 18ish or so. Uh, Garrett Wilson, depending on what happens with the Jets quarterback there, but I think he's correctly going in that position. So Hawks on the clock in a second. Let's
I like that last team, the 12th pick guy. Did you
Who's
see
he
that
got?
team?
Adams, Robinson, Andrews,
High
Lamar.
high
Oh yeah,
upside.
I
High
like it.
upside.
I like Andrews Lamar there, and Lamar's a really good value. I have questions
I also
about
like
Bijan.
well, everyone does. Yeah, no one
Yeah,
really knows, right?
yeah. So still got to figure out what's going on there. Hochberg on the clock. He can go
I think he's
any.
got a
I
this is tough. I would
I'd go
probably if
wide
I'm him,
receiver. Oh,
who do
he's
you
going.
take?
Okay, I'm
Harris, I
gonna.
like that pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep pissing yellow here. I don't think Pollard is that
Who's your
much
guy?
better than some of these other guys, so I really like Godwin. Is there anyone else here that you like in this range? Would you take Pittman or
I mean, like I feel like Pittman, Allen, and Terry are all kind of like a similar plane. I would take Godwin.
yeah?
Watson is an unknown with Rodgers 100% leaving. Like, yeah, I hope Watson's good next year. But yeah, I like your team right now a lot actually.
Yeah, I have a lot of teams that are going to start this way with Godwin. Godwin is my fourth wide receiver. I like Olave there in the third. I think he could easily sneak up to the second, especially if they get someone like not Derek David. No, Derek Carr. Yeah, I'm confusing the Carr.
Happy to be keeping him in our fantasy league as a keeper, dude.
Who?
Olave.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were saying Carr. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
No,
forgot. I
definitely
forgot
not.
you made that trade. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh no,
Absolutely
Olave is going to
not.
be one of the top keepers. I think you missed it last week, but we had a little Olston show and we went over some of the draft picks. And Olave was pretty high up there as well for rookie picks
Nice.
or for keeper picks.
How many
Um,
picks away are you right now, by the way?
yeah, 9 picks away coming up on this
Hmm.
turn. So we're going to be
Do you
pick
think do you think
55.
Brees going in the third is too early? He
I
might not
think
even
so.
start the season.
I don't think he will start the season. I think he's probably going to be a little bit closer to where. Can we get a
Week
full screen
four.
here? No. Can you see the full screen here? What are you seeing on your side? No.
I
Okay.
see the draft board. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Jameer
Uh,
Gibbs. I don't know any of these rookies. I got a lot of work to do on them.
yeah. So this gives you an idea of the board. Yeah. So now you can see that. Cool. Uh, but players coming up available top of the queue for me. Allen, Terry, if we get one of those guys, I probably will pull the trigger. Jameer Gibbs is a guy who I think he's a rookie. He's a little bit smaller of a guy, but very very fast. He could
Mm.
rise up after the combine, and people are saying he might get taken in the first round. So if Bijan's going in the first round, going at the end of the first round or beginning of second round in fantasy drafts, I'll take Jameer uh, as my workhorse running back in the fifth round. But
Can you hit the other view? The view of
oh yeah,
I,
sorry.
I I like seeing who's on deck. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see this?
So you're 2 picks away. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, if you can get Terry here, that'd be good. Dallas Goddard's kind of interesting. Are you trying to keep going receivers or?
No, not necessarily. I think that I'm just trying to get value here. If I had Mike Williams, maybe I'd consider Herbert, but I'm just not a big Herbert fan.
Nah,
Um,
I'm not a believer. What about Drake, dude?
Drake is interesting. I still want to see what happens with the
Lamar's
quarterback
going
situation.
there, dude.
I would love that. I've been thinking about that. That situation would be awesome. Him going down, playing on
Yeah.
turf, playing in the South again. I would like that. That would be good. I probably am gonna go Gibbs here.
Yeah, take a
Uh,
dart throw. Your
yeah,
receivers are strong. You might as well. Like,
and we can go over my exposures after this, but I have a lot of Terry, and I'm going to continue getting a lot of Terry. So I'll take Gibbs while I got him. Maybe Hawk was listening. Uh,
where's Dotson here? You don't like Dotson. I like Dotson over Terry, honestly. I think it's going to be pretty even next year.
yeah,
Like a
I like
Waddle Hill
Terry.
situation.
I think let's see what happens with Curtis Samuel, but I want to say, uh, yeah, where's he going? Yeah,
He's going
Dotson's
pretty
going
late.
around
I mean, like
90.
he's a steal.
Yeah, some people really like him. Some people are not as high on him. I think he's fair value around here. I think kind of after this Dotson, Zay Flowers area, I'm not very interested in a lot of these wide receivers. I'm probably going to take one coming up, though. Uh, I'm a
What about
big fan.
Tony?
Uh, Tony, he's interesting. I'll probably take him on some Mahomes teams, but I'm probably going to be fading him just because we haven't seen him put it together for like more than a quarter. So I'm
The
I
most
was
important quarter though
yeah,
of the
most
year.
important quarter, most very he was very good in the Super Bowl in his punt returns, and obviously he has the skill. But when I'm just comparing him to some of these guys going ahead of him, I'll probably stick with these Deontay
Yeah.
Evans, Lockett,
Do
Ayuk.
you
But I do like him a little bit further down after Burks and Addison and some
does
of these
best ball
guys.
even does like in best ball do you even get points for you're on the clock for like punt returns and stuff like that?
Yeah, for punt and return touchdowns, you do not for the yardage though. I'm
What's the
gonna
one running back you've taken so far, by the way?
Gibbs. So I took Gibbs,
Oh,
rookie
he's
pick.
running back. I have no idea. I like Dobbins here, dude. Low key.
I'm hoping some of these guys can fall a little bit. I like Dobbins. I have a lot of him, and I like Jones. I kind of like pushing it at wide receiver or at running back just to see what kind of value can fall to me. Just because it's going to be a lot harder for a wide receiver going in the double-digit rounds to finish as like a top three round or like a let's say a wide receiver one compared to a running back going in like rounds 10 through 13 has a much better chance at getting into that running back one category, especially this time in the year where everything's kind of uncertain at the running back position. I just want to take as many dart throws as possible, and I like Gibbs's upside there as as my workhorse in the playoffs. So I'm probably going to
Fair.
cool it on wide receivers a little bit coming up. Although there are a lot of good ones still on the board.
Show me your team again, real quick.
Yep.
So you're going for Tua, I'm guessing, and then are you going
Yes.
to go for Carr?
I'm considering it, but there's a couple guys in between Olave, Godwin, or sorry, uh, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco that have ambiguous quarterback situations. So I'll probably take some dart throws on some ambiguous quarterbacks, as well as grabbing Tua. Let's see, I got 79, and then I'll probably take Tua at 90, which I think is his ADP. So, uh,
Tua's tough though. Like it's,
yeah,
I feel like, yeah, he. I mean, I don't. Yeah,
I'm
concerned about
probably
that.
I'm probably only taking him on Hill and Waddle teams because it's like, all right, if they're gonna be
Yeah.
going off, I don't mind it. I actually took Skylar on like a 4 QB build in like the very last round in a team that I had Hill and Waddle on it where I
Nice.
didn't get Tua. I just like taking those opportunities to stack when I can. Um, so
What do you got here?
yeah, what are you thinking here? I don't know if I can trust Kamara right now.
Definitely not.
It's interesting value, but I think
Nah.
I think he keeps falling. I bet he starts going around 80 in a week or so. So I'll start taking some shares maybe later 80s when people aren't that on him. I really like Deontay. I really like Burke still. I really like Dotson. I probably have Dotson in this build ahead of
Dude, Kamara's
Bateman
gonna
in my
be
rankings.
28. Kamara's gonna be 28 next season, and at this year he was, dude. I drafted him in like pretty early, and I mean I had a lot of teams with him, but also like I guess in 2022, like he was either my first or second pick in like a normal like a redraft league,
Yeah.
and I made the playoffs, but it was a pain in the ass. He was so inconsistent, and I had to bench him for Dobbins eventually. And so I would stay away from Kamara, even if he is good value. He's not going to produce like he did in his first 3 or 4 years. I think he's done. I think this is. I think last year maybe a backup kind of guy or something like that, but he's not the guy anymore. And so I would stay away unless it's like insane value, unless it's like 100. You know what I mean? Like take him there.
Yeah, I'm starting to write a little article about like a running back carousel to try and predict where some of these running backs are going to go and what the kind of the running back landscape looks like. I'm going to go Dotson here. I like
They
that
all end up
play.
on the Jets, dude. They all end up on the Jets. I like Dotson a lot. Dotson is a. I mean, dude, he's a stud. Like he's the best player in the NFL, perhaps. Um, Another one of my good keepers.
Yeah,
For
and
anyone listening, I don't actually think he's the best player in the NFL.
no, he's pretty solid though. What was that going on about for a second there?
The running back carousel.
Oh yes. So and we were talking about which running back in particular there. I had a Oh, about Kamara. And
Kamara.
one of the things that I was doing some research in is like, all right, they don't really have any other running backs on the roster right now besides Kamara. They don't have a ton of cap space, so I would be surprised if they didn't draft a running back relatively high, probably day 2 or day 3, to at least compete and will definitely be there with Kamara when he's out for suspension. So even when he comes back, they're going to have another guy there who's probably going to start taking over. So he's probably in a split backfield in a situation he doesn't love, I don't think. So I'm not a big fan. So just recapping real quick, Hochberg's pick. I do not like Sutton there. I'd much rather take a dart throw on a guy like Zay or even Tony. I saw Childs was taking Sutton around there too, but like unless you're then stacking that with Russ, let's go to
Can we look at? Can you show his team? Yeah,
yeah.
let's take a look here.
So
I mean, I don't. I think his team is very vanilla. You know what I mean? Like it's not
you're
very
betting
exciting.
you're betting a lot on Allen and Diggs and some of these older wide receivers. Not
I
that
just don't. I
Pickens
just
is
don't
too
think
old.
that guys like. I don't think that guys like Allen. I don't think any of these quarterbacks that are going as early. You're on the clock.
Yeah. So
Um,
I'm
well, B Rob, dude, B Rob. You need running backs. B Rob's the guy right there.
I have a lot of B Rob though, and it's pretty early.
Jamal Cook. You can go Tua.
I'm
Honestly,
gonna
just
go
get that.
to just to get my guy.
Smart.
Wait, is this?
I just. I
No, this
don't
is pick
love.
90.
I don't
Okay,
love.
yeah.
It's a good pick. I don't love like these quarterbacks going as early as they are.
Yeah.
Um, I liked like Mahomes. Mahomes in BBM last year was going towards the end at least was like what 50 ish, like right around there ADP.
Yeah,
Is that
maybe
right?
a little. No, I think that's closer to where Lamar was. I think he was another round earlier than that.
Like 40,
He was going in
third
the
round.
third round, probably the late third, uh, depending. Because a
If
lot
you
of the
got
time,
lucky.
teams were trying to get him with Kelsey, who they were taking in the first and like the 1-2 turn. So it was kind of around the 3-4 turn he was going
Yeah.
a bunch. So probably around 36, somewhere between kind of 33 and 40, he was going a lot of drafts. But obviously, he played phenomenal last year, but he kind
Yeah.
of almost played at his ceiling because you're not really getting that rushing upside from him. Like, and he put up one of the best passing statistical seasons of all time. So it's hard for him to really produce on that value. I like taking a couple dart throws because he could wind up being the QB1, but I agree. I don't think his value is tremendous, especially if you're not stacking him with
I think
Kelsey.
the most exciting quarterback in the NFL from a fantasy perspective is Jalen Hurts right now.
Yeah.
I think that Allen is always solid, but like I don't know. Allen's good, but I don't like him where he's going. Hurts, I'll take him wherever. I think Hurts is the best kind of fantasy quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yeah, especially because of his rushing upside. I think that he's probably my
Dude,
QB1, and I'd be willing to take him naked without AJ
yeah.
Brown. Whereas Mahomes and Allen, it's very difficult to find myself taking them
Honestly,
without
like
their
you might want to
counterpunching.
an interesting combination. Like if you can get if like I don't trust Tua for a full season. If you is
Yeah,
Hurts going in the second round,
yeah,
I feel like if you can somehow get Hurts with one or somehow both of the Miami receivers, that's an incredibly unique team. Um, that I just don't trust their quarterback. And so like a Hurts Waddle, Hurts Hill, Hurts Waddle Hill type combo, I think that that's actually super unique and maybe one in like every 50 drafts, you'll get the opportunity to do it. But Hurts is a stud naked. I mean, I like all of the Eagles offense. So I love AJ Brown. Who knows what they're going to do at running back? Are they drafting running back?
they got a
Bijan?
lot of things that they could do. Probably going to be drafting though, based on their cap situation and just how little money you probably want to be paying the top running back. So I could see them drafting a guy, letting Sanders walk. All right,
I
we
mean, I
are
like where
on the
you at.
clock next. I'm a huge fan of Jamal Williams. I have him rated
Yeah,
much
of course.
higher
Take
than
him. He's
this.
dropped.
Uh,
He dropped to you too. What pick is this? Oh no, no.
no,
This is
no,
current
this is
ADP
103. I
102.
probably have him closer to 90 in ADP.
What about Khalil Herbert, your
I
boy?
like Khalil. I'll probably take him if Jamal goes.
I don't think
Uh,
Jamal's going.
oh,
Yeah,
he took Kyler. I don't love.
Kyler. Wow,
Yeah, I don't
Kyler.
like
What a
Kyler
fall
there,
from grace.
especially with all his
Nice
injury
pick,
concerns. He's probably going to miss the first half of the season. I'm not a big fan of that.
dude. Such a fall from grace too. He was a top guy. It's sad.
Yeah. So
That's why I'm avoiding Hopkins and I'm avoiding Kyler. I'm avoiding the entire Arizona Cardinals offense, except for James Conner, maybe.
So I wouldn't mind getting Trey Lance here with Ayuk already on our
What's all
team.
you?
Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
think he
like
should
a lot of it.
probably
Peoples
be.
Jones.
Uh, huh?
Peoples Jones.
What do you mean? Oh,
I,
because he's right there. I like him too. I just don't know with our wide receivers with already six if like he's a good seventh wide receiver. I like him on a team that we go running back a little bit earlier, take a wide receiver in this range. But if I'm taking a wide receiver as my seventh wide receiver in the 10th round, it's got to be like super super high upside, which I don't think there's many of right now. So let's see if Hawk takes Lance. I don't think he's listening.
I don't think he would. He's not listening. He just asked. He just texted me saying, "Is Rob shitting on my team?" And I said, "No, I am." I think he's gonna go. Who did he go?
He
Wait,
went Juju.
dude, I kind of like that pick. Honestly, I'm not gonna
I
lie.
like it too. I don't think he's going to stay in Kansas City, but I think he could wind up being a starting slot receiver somewhere else and maybe even getting more of a target share. So I'm going to go with
You don't think he's
Lance
gonna
here.
stay?
Um,
How many yards do you think he had this season?
I actually just looked this up. I think I kind of know. I think it was around
Were you
800.
surprised?
No, I think 800. It was about 800, 850. I want to
No,
say
it's 933 on 78
933. Yeah,
catches.
so it was. I knew it was under 1,000. It was probably a little bit higher than I thought, but he wasn't scoring as many touchdowns as I would have liked with him.
Three
Yeah,
tutties. Yeah,
with him playing with Mahomes, you kind of are hoping for a little bit more there. So I think
that's
he
the thing though.
could.
Mahomes is. I think, dude, they're adopting like the Patriots way. Like it's just like everyone
Yeah,
scores, and like you
and
can't
and that's not great for fantasy. So when I'm taking Mahomes,
only Mahomes.
I'm probably only taking one or two guys with him. I think if you're getting three or four guys, you're spreading yourself pretty thin there and hoping that you can really thread the needle in the playoffs. But
I mean, you gotta the ideal pairing is obviously Kelsey Mahomes, but if you can't, I mean, Mahomes naked isn't even that crazy to be perfectly
no,
honest.
no, it's doable. I think in with the cost right now, I don't think that
Not
makes
worth
a
it.
ton of sense. But it's very easy to also take a couple dart throws, including some rookie wide receivers who they may add in the second or third round, adding a Sky Moore who's going in the 160s, who actually looked pretty decent during the Super Bowl. So I think he could get a lot more run next year. So I'm a big fan of that. So real quick, taking a look at who's on the
You need
board.
some running backs, dude.
Yeah, we're up in 7 picks. Definitely need a running back, but
I
I'm
would
not
take Montgomery. Maybe not.
if Montgomery's
Dolchich.
there, I'm gonna take him. But if
Can you filter on running backs?
yeah, after that, I feel like I'm okay waiting a little bit. Like Zeke, I'm not really touching around here. Kareem is okay. I I feel like he falls a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing if he could get to the 12th round. Let me look at tight ends too.
I mean, you got Mitchell there. You had Zeke. You got Madison. Is interesting. I feel like there's a pretty good mix. You could probably wait on. I mean, maybe where do you put Fields here? Justin Fields as quarterback. Sorry,
Oh, he's going way early. He's going
top
where
three,
top. He's going. He was right after
fourth round.
Lamar, so he was fifth QB5, right before
Okay.
Trevor. And I think that's probably fair. Just he's probably one of the riskier players, but his upside is so high with his rushing ability. I'd love to get Montgomery here at 127. I don't really love the player, but he could be
Look at the guys in
starting.
front of you, though. You'll get him. What? That guy
I'll
took
take him.
four running backs?
Yeah,
Four
so
running
there are
backs
some
this
times
early?
when these guys are uh,
Big ticket here.
falling.
Look at his team. Three QBs already. What a loser.
Yeah, and he took the tight end too. So I'm thinking about Greg. This isn't a great spot. Maybe
You
we
can take
go
Carr.
Kareem. Oh yeah, maybe we just go three and just be done at
QB.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I think you're strong at quarterback if you go Carr here and Tua.
yeah.
Carr will make up for. I mean,
Well,
Carr.
and Lance. So this would be my third quarterback, but
Oh,
I think
you
three
got to go right now.
quarterbacks here and then being done is okay.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a huge difference between Kareem and some of these other guys like Sean Tucker, Madison, uh, below him. And Greg Dulcich is fun. I like the player, but I'm probably going to be overexposed to him. If I can fade him at times, I'll take that opportunity. And I do like some of the other late tight ends. I don't mind going like maybe like a 3-6-7-4 build. I'm
You
probably
got
gonna
a
need.
long way to go, though. Yeah, you need to get a lot more running backs.
Yeah, I should probably try and smash running backs right here as much as possible. Uh,
You
don't
need a
mind.
tight end, too. Don't forget.
Yeah, I don't mind going late at tight end and picking up four guys late. I've had a couple teams that I've liked doing that. If Greg is there, I'll probably take him, but
Yeah, just snag him.
I think I should probably take Tucker or Gibson first. But like, yeah, like these wide receivers in this range of like the 130s of Wandale, Osborne, Gallup, I could see there being scenarios that I do like Palmer a little bit, but like I just feel like I'd rather take the running backs here and the wide receivers in this 100 range. And yeah, we're on the clock. All right. Pride of
Take Greg.
Syracuse or
Take
Greg?
Greg. Greg.
You don't want to
Pride
take
of
the
Syracuse.
Pride of Syracuse? Yeah. So I think that's smart.
No.
I think this is probably setting up to be a 3-7-7-3 build then with Greg. Maybe taking another higher tight end, but I like getting a lot of dart throws at running back. So right now, a little over halfway done with the draft. Tua, Trey, Derek Carr, all basically going in the last four
Ugh.
rounds. Then we got Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamal Williams, obviously my weak spot. But we got what?
This is a true zero RB. I mean, this is like the zero
Yeah,
RBist. Like,
and some people may even argue that with where did I take Gibbs in the fifth round? Some people say you can't do that. Some people would say that this is a weak superhero build, but I'd call it zero RB, especially when you're not even taking RB2 until pick 103. So I
I
like
don't
the
know anything about Jahmyr Gibbs. I know nothing. I thought he was a wide receiver.
I like him a lot. I wouldn't mind Elijah Mitchell. So right now, kind of focusing on running back, tight end. If some wide receivers pop in the mix, I'll be interested. But I'm basically avoiding Fournette right now like the plague. Give me some of these other running backs. So A-Chain and Tajay Spears are both guys. Didn't go to major programs. A-Chain went to A&M. Tajay Spears went to Tulane, I believe, and very explosive pass catchers. Both of them are. Both of them probably a little bit small, but big play, home run ability for sure. So I would love to get one of those guys. Where are we in the draft right now? We are at approaching pick 151. Let's do a little regroup on Hochberg's team. He's got Stafford and Allen at QB. I hope he's done. I don't love Stafford there, but Diggs, Terry, Evans, Sutton, Juju, Michael Thomas. So taking some veteran guys, which I don't mind here. And then, like Evan Engram there, to be honest, I don't love Dalton Schultz there. I probably would have taken Njoku over Ingram, but that's fine. Okay, so we're up in 2 picks. Any thought between Gibson or Elijah?
Take your boy, man. Come on.
Yeah, I think I'm going over 50%.
Wait, are you overexposed? I mean, maybe Gibson. I mean,
I have a decent amount of Gibson too. I'm fine. I like Eli here. Yeah, I'm gonna go Eli here. I think he's a good value. Yeah, I wonder if
this is the
Hosmer
area
won.
of the draft.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever. Let's see who takes Bigby.
Bigsby. He's an interesting rookie. I would prefer A-Chain or Spears than Bigsby right now, but I like Bigsby's potential too, so I don't completely hate that.
You're still staying away from Fournette. How old is Fournette? He's like 30, 100,000 years old. He looks like he's a fucking ancient man, but like
he's not that old. He's still in his 20s yet, still, but he's not moving very well. And the Buccaneers have the second worst odds to win the Super Bowl. Maybe it's the fourth worst odds in the Super Bowl. That sounds better. That sounds right, actually.
ooh,
So I don't
you know what
think
you
they're
should do
gonna
here?
be in it. Who are you thinking about?
You should. Do you have the pick before Hochberg or no?
It's the pick, I believe, right after Hochberg. Yeah, he's gonna
He's
pick.
going to take Mechie. He's going to take Mechie, and you should take Nico Collins. The battle for the Houston receivers. I like
I would.
MVS. Is he going to stay there, or MVS had kind of one of the most
It's a
important games of his career? I mean,
yeah.
Singletary.
He's an interesting one because he's gonna get a pay raise next year if he stays, but there's a out for Kansas City to be like, no, you're not the guy. We're not going to pay you 10 million a year to be our wide receiver. So I actually like them trading for someone and letting go of a lot of their wide receivers that they're currently paying, like Hardman and Juju. All right,
Ooh,
Hochberg,
he's going to
Love.
Hochberg.
That's a
He did what?
little
Psycho.
early. I like him. I think I have to
I mean,
go running back or tight end here.
Rashad, Rashad Penny, Singletary or Penny.
I think we can get Penny coming back. You're saying Singletary? I don't have much of Singletary actually. Let's take Singletary. I don't have a ton of him, uh, so I'm fine with that. I do like Rashad coming back though. I have a lot of him, but I want more.
Me too. I'm a
Uh,
huge fan of Rashad. I went way too hard on Rashad last year though, like way
but
overexposed. It was
but
bad.
I think that the strategy made sense though, because you're looking for a guy that can get you those high output weeks. Because you're only drafting him in the 90s or 100s. I love him in the 170s, 180s. When like if you only get 3 weeks out of him of starter level production, you're already hitting on that ADP. So I think that's very much in his outcome. Will he be the only guy wherever he signs? No. But could he be the guy who gets the first crack at it? Yeah, I think he
Yes, he
definitely
will
could.
be.
So I like supplementing him with a bunch of rookies because I think he could have a really good start to the year. Probably will get hurt at some point, but when you're picking at 180, 170, like that's totally fine for a starter. So I like having him and then supplementing that with some rookie running backs. We already have Gibbs. I can see myself taking one or two more rookies after Penny as well. I am a big fan of Gesicki. I do think I already have a.
It's a beautiful stack. I mean,
The thing is,
I like that stack.
I don't think he stays in Miami, and that's why I'm interested in him. They didn't use him very well last year. He was franchise tagged, so to keep him, they're going to have to pay a lot of money. I think he's gone, and someone's going to pay him to be that pass catching guy. They're going to say, "Don't worry about blocking. We're going to set you out wide 70% of snaps and go create some mismatches for us." I like his potential too. I do think we have to take Penny here though, because I don't think
Yes.
he's not making it back to us with Hochberg.
Where do you think he lands? Hochberg loves Penny. Where do you think he lands?
That's he could go so many different places because he could go to a place that already has like an established running back, maybe not an elite running back, but go in and be like the very good backup to a rookie. Like honestly, I could see like Denver being like a fantastic situation for him where he only needs 1 year. Javante probably isn't going to play. Latavius is probably going to be the backup. So if you can get a guy who can go in there and give you elite output for 5 or 6 games in the beginning of the year, see what happens with Javante, I think that would be great. I don't know who's going to pay him that much. He got $5 million, I think, last year from Seattle. I don't know if someone's going to pay him that much again, but I'd love if he came to the Broncos on like a $3 million, $4 million deal.
A great place for him to be would be the Jets while Breece Hall is like recovering. Like that would be so smart. I mean, like you're in a similar situation though, like right with I mean, it's actually pretty identical. So
with
I guess
elite young running back who's coming off
Javante
injury.
has longer to go though. What was his injury? I forget.
It was ACL as well, but it wasn't a clean ACL tear. It was like a few other things as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of
both of those spots are really solid. You should grab Jeff Wilson too at some point, probably. Or Mostert.
Wilson's interesting. The thing with Miami, I was building out when I was writing the report, they have 0 running backs currently on their roster. So there's a lot of different ways that they can go. Probably signing one of Wilson or Mostert just as like a backup, and I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a guy and maybe sign a guy in free agency too. The running back position is very important in Miami. Let's see. I really hope that. Okay, this guy's not taking a 6 running back here, or at least that would be pretty ridiculous. So I'm gonna make Hochberg sweat a little bit here because I know that's who he wants. So he'll tune back
Penny?
into this later. Yeah, I bet he wants Penny. Let's see. Yeah, he's not in stream, but I'm gonna. Ooh, and the guy took Mechie before him too. This could be a double blow.
Devastating.
I do like Mechie there though. I think his ADP is closer.
It's just he's never played a game. It's just hard to tell, And so we'll see. But I mean, I like Mechie there. Grab Penny. I mean, yeah, that's really funny though. Hawk, he was definitely targeting Penny.
Yeah.
He should probably grab. I mean, he should grab. I don't even know, man. He's got Najee, so you don't really want to grab Warren unless you think that.
I like P. Ryan or Wilson probably, but let's see. Are there any other rookies that are pretty? Oops, I didn't have that. Yeah, he took P. Ryan. He totally wanted Penny. He didn't like that. It would have been a snap selection if Penny was there. McBride is also interesting. I'm going to throw him on the queue. I don't mind him. Chase Brown is interesting. Wilson we talked about. CPAT I don't love, honestly, even at this ADP. If he gets to the 200s, maybe I'll take a couple shares. But let's see what
CPAT, I mean, CPAT I feel like is good to have if you have like 3 to 4 really strong running backs on your team. Like grab a CPAT as like your 5th or 6th and then call it a day.
A guy that can get you 10, 11 points a few weeks in a row if you need it with like injury.
Or like 25 in one game.
Sure. You get one. Like, you could have one explosion game that's all you needed
for
the whole season. Yeah.
Punt return. I'm moving along some laundry. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good. All right. So we got Hochberg coming up. I'm probably going to go one of these 3 running backs here and then go late at tight end.
You love the smell of fresh laundry, dude. It's the best.
What type of detergent do you use?
Deanna gets some like fucking vegan. She gets like some crazy. I mean, it smells amazing. but I couldn't. It's not like it's like tied by
Yeah.
not even fucking close.
Yeah.
Um,
It doesn't have all those chemicals and other nice things in it. I'm definitely gonna go.
all those nice things.
I'm
Yeah, it definitely doesn't.
I'm definitely gonna go Juwan Johnson here. I'm a huge Juwan Johnson fan.
Ooh, I like that. Especially you got Carr too. I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
exactly. So I'm going with Olave, Carr, Juwan Johnson. Honestly, if is Shaheed gone? Shaheed will be interesting. I think he's gone. I don't think I have him that
I have
low.
no idea who Shaheed
Oh, she's
is.
right over here. He's an interesting player on. Let me make sure this is Juwan Johnson. Yeah. Shaheed was the deep threat for the Saints last year. I thought he was a really fun player. Uh,
I mean, you've got some nice stacks already,
yeah.
so you might
So
as well build on them.
let's double check who I got. So Tua, we have the Miami. Waddle Hill, obviously. Lance, we got Ayuk. Carr, we're projecting. And we have Tampa Bay. We took Godwin too, right? So we got an
Yep.
option if he goes to Tampa Bay, which needs a quarterback. New Orleans, and even Washington is an option too. I think Washington probably drafts someone, but there's definitely a possibility that he goes to any of those three teams. We still need one more tight end, and then I think I said this
Who's
is
on the
looking.
board?
Yeah, so at tight end, likely Bellinger, but honestly, I've been talking in the chat a little bit about some of these other guys. Some of these rookies, Dalton Kincaid, Darnell Washington, Luke Musgrave. Honestly, Jake Ferguson, he was a second or third round pick last year by Dallas. I think Dalton Schultz is gone. I think that he could step into that role and be a high end tight end too. Uh, so I'm a big
I
fan
like.
of some of these guys later. So I don't know if we need to take one of these tight ends, but just kind of creating a tier of guys that I want to get at least one of.
Zach
And
Ertz is kind of interesting, especially if
the issue with him is
Kyler's out.
he had a pretty bad injury himself. He said he's going to be ready for week 1, but he also isn't very fast. They drafted Trey McBride last year to start taking over some of that role for him. And then to your point with Kyler, it's like I'm just not buying a ton of Cardinals this year. Like, oh, we can go over my exposure a little bit
Fair enough.
as
I don't
before
fuck with
you.
the Cardinals either.
But that's the thing. It's like I think they have pretty low Super Bowl odds next year, so I'm just trying to avoid the teams I think are probably going to be bad, at least to start right now. I'd love if I could get one of these McBride or Chase Brown. They're my two top running backs. Then you got some of these other rookie running backs like Kendre Miller, Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn is an interesting scat back kind of guy. Israel Abenekanda. I'll get that right at some point. He goes to Pitt. He's a power back. I think he could have like a Jamal Williams type of career, getting like 10, 12 touchdowns in a season, but maybe not eclipsing like 600, 700 yards. So I really like
I
him
mean,
too.
Jamal Williams had like fucking
Yeah, he
what
had like
19,
14,
20?
yeah, 14, 15 touchdowns.
He
So
had
I
more
think
than
you
that.
this year. Oh
Yes,
no, I think you're right because didn't he lead
I'm
the
looking it up.
NFL? I think he led the NFL in touchdowns. Maybe he did get to 16 or
He had
17.
17.
He had 17 touchdowns. Wow.
Wait. That might only be rushing. Let me see here.
I don't think he had many passing if he did have any.
What a great season for him, though. So fun.
And I
He
really
had, he
like
had
him.
17 rushing. He had 0 receiving touchdowns. We had 17 rushing. I mean, that's like something else, dude.
I talk about it in the running back carousel article that I'm writing about, but I really like Jamal Williams going to Carolina. They just signed Deuce Staley to be the assistant head coach slash running back coach.
Yeah.
He was the Lions coach who loved him in Hard Knocks. I think that he would be a great player to have on that Panthers team. If Carolina can get a little bit better, that could be really interesting because I think if the offense gets there, they could be really, really good. So big ticket took Bellinger, so a lot of those top tier tight ends are gone. So I'm happy that I got Jawan last
Ellie.
round, got Dwayne now. And so we got 18, 19, 20, three more picks left. I need a tight end, a wide receiver. I think we
Terrace
said
Marshall.
I love
There's your
him.
boy.
Yeah. Oh, so he hasn't gone yet. I'd be interested in getting him. Wait. So,
Slayton.
because what am I at?
Latvius Murray.
So I got a 3.662 So at least one. I think I'm gonna go 3-7-7-3. Uh,
I like it.
yeah, I like a little bit more at running back. I'll take another dart throw there, especially I'm mainly relying on these five guys with a little bit of Dotson sprinkled in. So let's take a look at some of the wide receivers too. Any names here that stand out to you? We don't really have too many rookies, so I wouldn't mind.
Who's this Justin Ross lad on
Oh,
Kansas City?
so he was a player, I believe he went to Clemson, and he was like going into the 2021 draft. People were like, oh, this is going to be the kid for the 2022 draft. Had a really bad injury, like basically was like, you're having a redshirt year this year.
Yeah,
I'm going to take another Chase Brown share right here to go with my rookie running back theme. Uh,
nice.
yeah, so I like Chase Brown. So I'm done at running back now. Uh, seven running backs, it's a lot, but they were all kind of in the 100s
You need
besides
you
Gibbs.
needed you needed to take like a bunch of dart throws
Yeah, I need
just
to
based
take
off
the.
off the build.
So I'm fine with that. Uh, I think one of these tight ends will probably fall to me in the 20th round. So, yeah, Ross is interesting. I'm probably only taking him on Mahomes teams right now. If we start hearing some more good news, I'll be more interested. Uh,
I
but
mean, do you
some,
like Slayton at all?
I'm probably gonna take dart throws with some of these rookies.
Yeah,
Calvin Austin's also interesting on uh, Kenny Pickett stacks. David Bell interesting on Watson stacks.
I
But
mean
I'm gonna.
Pickett sucks.
I
Pickett's a
like.
bum.
I like Pickett, especially in fantasy. He gives you a little bit of rushing. You know, I agree. I don't think he's gonna win a Super Bowl in the next 10 years or something, but I think he could produce in a Daniel Jones type way for fantasy that could be really sneaky. So,
Okay,
um,
that'd be cool.
yeah. Maybe I will just go one of these tight ends. I'm going to look up quickly who I have lower exposure to between those two rookies of Washington and Musgrave. Washington, Georgia player, could be confused for an offensive lineman. 6'7", very, very big. I don't think he's going to get a ton of catches or a ton of yards, but I would not be surprised if he had 7 or 8 touchdowns his rookie year, just for how dominant of a player he is kind of in the red zone area. And Ferguson goes. That's a big player of mine. Let me just double check the tight ends one more time. Yes, like Kate Otten, Albert O, interesting, but give me the upside of uh, Musgrave or Washington. Musgrave at the Senior Bowl, I think clocked in with the fastest tight end time at like 20 miles per hour and a half, 20 and a half miles per hour, which for 255 pounds at 6'5" is just absolutely absurd.
Insane. Yeah.
I don't know if that's like sustainable uh, in the NFL, like if he's going to be able to translate to do the blocking stuff that he needs to do to play tight end. But I look at Greg Dulcich, a guy that wasn't a great blocker. You find ways, you scheme him the ball. I think Musgrave is a very good comp to Greg Dulcich, and he can have like 5 or 6 games where he gets 5 catches for 100 yards, and you're like, okay, that's all we needed, from your 19th round pick. So
Yeah.
a little bit worried about big ticket taking him. If not, Tucker Kraft is another guy I've been hearing about. I think he went to South Dakota State. Uh, I might take him in the 20th round if he goes Musgrave here. But excited to talk about some of these wide receivers for a sec, too.
Fuck, dude. My goddamn washing machines. My vegan washing machine keeps on breaking. It just like keeps on like, or the dryer keeps on saying it's done. This is so frustrating. Fucking run, dude. I'm so annoyed right now.
You take all the lint out?
I thought I did. Let me take another look. This is a major crisis. There's fucking dog hair everywhere. Jesus Christ.
So we're 9 picks away. I'm interested to look at Hochberg's team. He took Tunyon right after we took Musgrave. I don't know if Musgrave was on his radar. I'm worried about Tunyon, especially with Rodgers going away. I just feel
Not a
like
fan.
they're probably drafting one of these rookie tight ends, one of these four guys.
100%.
So I'm
They're
going with the
starting over.
younger guy. Yeah, I think they're starting. I still think they want to try and do good this year and show that Love can
It
be the
wasn't
guy.
Rodgers. Yeah,
Yeah, that he can be the guy.
they're gonna fail though.
Yeah, I like
I mean,
Latavius
they're gonna
going
put the
here.
work in. I just don't see it, man.
This is a
I
very
don't see
sharp
it.
draft. Most of these tight ends were gone by the time I was looking before. So some of these rookies, I like Xavier Hutchinson. He just went off the board. Parker Washington, Penn State, another small guy. Jaden Reed, he's a guy who I forget where he went to school, but you look at his tape, he is fast, man. And A.T. Perry, he was just at the Shrine Bowl, I believe. Yeah, he just got drafted by Silly Bickles. Uh, and all the reviews were just raving about how smart he was. He'll be a probably really solid wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 for a while. I like these three guys of Washington, Reed, and Mims. I guess with got my boy Terrace still here. With the only having 7 wide receivers, I may try and do a safer pick of Terrace Marshall here. Um, Doing one double check of the rest of the board. Yeah, I'm gonna go Terrace Marshall. I have a lot of these other uh, wide receivers and other teams, so yeah, I like this team. Um,
Yeah, I do too.
I think that let's check out Hochberg's team. And were you gonna do a draft? Did you still want to do one?
I don't know, man.
It's
Not
up to
right
you.
now.
Okay, yeah,
I
yeah,
would do an off stream. I gotta walk my dog and stuff.
yeah,
I'm very annoyed at Hawkbird for fucking up our shit.
yeah.
Um,
I think there was a little miscommunication there for sure, but
miscom. It's all good though.
we'll figure it out. So really quick, we'll just quickly review uh, my team and Hochberg's team. So Hochberg, interesting. Quarterback, Allen,
I don't really
Stafford,
like
and
Hawkbird's
Love.
team.
Yeah, just at the quarterback position, it's like if you're gonna go Allen and then another guy in the 12th round, like be done at that point. You're making that bet. I prefer. I don't like how this is. Let's wait till this draft is over. Uh, I'll review my team real quick. So Tua, Trey, Derek Carr, then Gibbs, Jamal Williams, Elijah Mitchell, Singletary, Penny, McBride, Chase Brown at running back. Wide receiver pretty heavy. Hill, Waddle, Olave, Olave. Where were we? Godwin, Ayuk, Dotson, my guy T
It's a fun
Marsh.
team, Rob.
Yeah, and
It's a
then
fun team.
Dolchich, Johnson, Musgrave. This is another Derek Carr, hoping that he gets placed with Las Vegas. San Francisco got Mitchell there too, so maybe a down McCaffrey year, and then the Tua with who was it again? Hill and Waddle, I think are really fun. Let's check out Hochberg's team really quick. So we already talked
Not
about
his
his.
best.
Yeah, this is his first draft. We'll give him a little bit of a break. He doesn't know much of the rookies. I like Love, but if you're gonna pick Love 10 spots over ADP, don't take Stafford and take another dart throw guy with Love later in the draft.
Yep. Totally agree.
Interesting. This I don't mind this. I think that the weighting is pretty good. You got your studs, 2 touchdown, probably heavy running backs, and then P Ryan, who I think has a passing back role somewhere else. Diggs, Terry, I don't mind that start, but there's a lot of other question marks here. Evans, Sutton, Juju, Thomas, Rasheed Rice, I don't mind. Tank Dell, we already talked about that. I'm a big fan of his. Allen Robinson. This looks very similar to his other team. I don't love Allen Robinson either. He didn't look great. I just don't see like when you're looking to try and win a $1 million, $200,000 to first contest. Like Allen Robinson, like doesn't seem like the guy that could do that. Uh, Tight end,
I like Engram.
I'm a fan of
Love
Ingram.
Engram.
Schultz, I just really don't like there. I think he's going to go elsewhere, and I worry that he's not going to have the same role that he had in Dallas, just getting all those easy underneath looks. And then Tunyon, I'm just not a big fan of either. Uh, But what
I
was
think
his?
you've got the better team, but could you pull the board actually?
Yeah. So he had a
I want to source
359
some of these.
build. Let me
Look at this, the 11th pick.
so
This
can you
team's kind of
see
hot.
this screen right here? Make sure you
I'm a huge fan
yeah.
of the 11th pick team. Brown, Hurts, Hopkins, Mike Williams, JSN, Dallas, Damian Pierce, Sanders. I love this team.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hop there too. I think at the wide receiver position, there's a big break between Hop and Cooper. I have Hop right after Metcalf. Then you have like Cooper, Williams, Godwin. I have Ridley in another tier past that, but Pittman, Watson. That all seems like a tier. Hopkins, Olave, Metcalf, I kind of have in the same tier. So I like getting a really good wide receiver there. And then you're taking dart throws, you're still pissing yellow. So you go 4 of your first 5 picks are wide receiver, an elite, tight end. You get and he paired him with Goddard too, which is pretty solid. So you got that
That's what I'm
Philly
saying.
stack, the Philly stack with 3 other elite wide receivers. Pierce and Sanders, but they're upside plays. You could see scenarios where they lose value from this spot, but you can also see scenarios where they become the guy at whatever team. Houston doesn't draft a guy. Sanders goes to Miami or somewhere like that where he's the RB1, and he can really capitalize off that. Mooney, I don't mind as a dart throw. Osborne, I don't
Right,
mind.
Bryce. What if Bryce going to go to Houston? Like,
So that's the big thing right now with these rookie quarterbacks is where are they going to go? And it seems like Houston and Indy, in my mind, seem like the destinations for Stroud and Young. I probably have them a little bit closer together. I'm probably taking both of them in this sort of Kenny Pickett range. Stafford should probably be in this Kenny Pickett range too. But kind of, I have Carr and Rodgers and Lance in their own tier. And then the following tier are some of those uncertain situations of Young and Stroud. And I love Pickett there. Honestly, I probably got Pickett closer to Carr and Rodgers. But yeah, and then he finished grabbing A-Chain, who I was talking about, and Mostert, who we discussed could come back. Chuba, don't love. I still think that they bring in someone else. Latavius, I'm a big fan of. We talked about it with Javante. He's not going to be full health for most of the year. And Rashid Shaheed, a yards per route run monster, more of a deep threat. But if they can get an actual quarterback there, he could have a few like monster spike weeks where he gets 20 points in a week of getting 2 or 3 big bombs and 1 touchdown. So I really like Shaheed. I think that's a really interesting team, especially it's just a very good tournament team with that Philly stack. Reminds me of the team that you had in VBM last year. Of that all you had 4
I had the
Philly
whole
players.
team.
You
I had
you had
everyone
Sam,
but
right?
I had everyone but Sanders. I had
Okay.
Brown, Hurts, Smith, Goddard, Boston Scott,
Oh
Gainwell. I
yeah.
literally had everyone. I had everyone but Sanders.
Yeah.
And it took me, dude. That team was about to go the distance if Hurts didn't get hurt in the last few weeks of the season. Um, I really felt confident that that team was going to go all the way. Like it made it so fucking far. But yeah, I
Yeah.
like these Eagles builds a lot. I mean, that's probably my favorite team in this draft. Honestly, Hawk is already complaining about his team. He doesn't like his team. I agree with him. I kind of like the third pick team: Chase, Burrow, Brees, Pollard, DJ Moore, Aaron Jones, Burks. Like that's an interesting build right there.
Mhm.
Shame they couldn't get Higgins as well, but like yeah, Kamara they took a dart on. Waller, like I like this team quite a bit actually.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of. I don't love taking Joe at
Not
2.
two overall. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of teams that have Jamar here, T or another wide receiver or running back, and then Joe in the third. So I'm not taking Joe in the second, even if I have Jamar. If I miss him, oh well. But really, I'm only taking Joe if I have Jamar anyway. So I feel pretty confident that these teams probably aren't taking him
Yeah.
at that turn. So really, yeah, if you got Jamar, you want to take Joe, I get it. But honestly, he should be probably be going after Fields and Lamar if it wasn't for being stacked with Chase.
Dude,
So
honestly, the first round, the first guy, like JJ, K Walk, Devontae Smith, T Law, Kirk, Pacheco, Lockett, old trustworthy guy. Yeah, big board's tough. It's a little challenging, honestly. It's a bit different. I feel like the ADPs are way off in my opinion.
mhm.
But except for like the first few guys. But I think that I think you did pretty well here. I like that Eagles stack a lot, but maybe I'm
Yeah.
just biased because I love AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. But yeah, this first team is pretty nice. They got the mini stack, Kirk and Lawrence. Like maybe they got other guys down below. I think Pacheco. There's something like everyone's talking after the Super Bowl about Pacheco. It's like no one looks like they work harder to run like 5 yards, but it's just like, dude, Pacheco had an amazing second half of the season once Clyde kind of got hurt. Like Pacheco should be the typical Kansas City like boom guy who's good for a year or two and good for like 1,300 yards and like 10 touchdowns, especially with the situation they've got right now with their receivers, which is just a gigantic question mark.
Yeah.
I like Pacheco a lot.
Yeah, and they're obviously not going to be spending a lot either in the draft or in free
Nope.
agency at running back position. They're going to save that for wide receiver. So I agree. I think he's a smash there. I was a little bit worried going into the Super Bowl, but then he just solidified it again that he's the guy. And I do see them bringing in another pass catching kind of 2-minute back like Jerick McKinnon. But Pacheco proved that he's going to have his spike weeks even with McKinnon or whoever else taking some of those passing looks. So I love him there. The running back position in general is super interesting because for me, like looking at really the tier, I do like Najee, but like Swift, even Pollard to some extent. Pollard we don't know because we don't know where he's going to be, so he's a little bit more ambiguous. But Swift, Pollard, Mixon, Dalvin, I don't love the upside there. Like Gibbs, I am kind of just taking a swing on. But like really, like give me Pacheco at 72 compared to Mixon at 50 every single time. Same thing.
100%.
Aaron Jones. Give me Aaron Jones or J.K. Dobbins. I love J.K. Dobbins at 67. I know that I passed him for Ayuk just because I'm a big Ayuk fan.
I think we're going to see Dobbins' ADP rise a lot in the offseason.
So this was one of the guys I took a deeper dive into, and he, including the playoffs, he finished 4 of his last 5 games without Lamar Jackson, mind you, with over 100-yard scrimmage each of those games, including the playoffs. He came on very strong at the end. He had the injury. Obviously, he wasn't right to start the year. Was stiff, had a few weeks off in the middle of the season. But when he came back, he was looking like the J.K. Dobbins we were expecting to play in 2022 when we were drafting him in the 2nd, 3rd round. So I would not be surprised if he starts moving up, especially if Lamar winds up staying there. I think there's a very good chance he gets moved. But even if he does get moved, you know they're going to want to run the ball a bunch. So J.K. is going to be involved. So I think he's going to move.
And he proved
a bunch.
He proved his ability. He proved his ability without Lamar. I think he's going to end up, honestly, like by September BBM, especially after like a few. Well, I doubt they'll probably won't play him in preseason with his injury history. But like, I just feel like by that time, by the like beginning of the season, he's going to be potentially in the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah, I can definitely see him being in this 4th round.
Look at the other guys here, right?
You know,
like you got
Tony
Jacobs,
Pollard, just as like Tony Pollard could go somewhere else and be splitting time again with someone else that we don't feel confident. And J.K. Dobbins could have the role to himself with Lamar still there, and all the rushing goes really well whenever Lamar is quarterbacking. So
100%.
I'm a big fan. I agree. I think J.K., Pacheco. And sometimes they even fall to the 80s. So sometimes I even like pushing it and grabbing some of these wide receivers like a London and Evans, Ayuk, even a Deontay Johnson. Seem like they have a lot of upside. Let's push those guys and see if they even make it to the 7th round. Like I think 7th, 8th, 9th round is where you can get a lot of decent running back value. And like most of these guys, White, Herbert, maybe not Williams. Well, he did it last year. Williams, Charbonnet, Robinson. Would we be surprised if we said they finished as a top 10, top 15 running back next year? Like, no, I don't think we would. So give me the top wide receivers at the beginning of the draft, piss and yellow all day, and then let's eat up some of this mid-round value at running back where all these ambiguous backfields are. Yeah, some of these teams are going to be dead in 2 months from now, but some of these teams are going to be very, very live for the 200. So yeah,
that's how I feel. Like I just love these like mid to late round running backs. There's only a few sure thing running backs in this league, right? And anything can happen, right? Like injuries, all that kind of stuff. Like I love that C-Mac is still at the top. I think Henry, should be interesting enough. But like Kenneth Walker, right, in the 2nd round, like who really knows how that's going to go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would much rather take a receiver there and then just wait
Same.
and just load the heck up on like Brian Robinson, Pacheco, all the guys like that, because you know a few of them are going to hit. They already did like this
Yeah.
year, and so that's my strategy for the year. Probably it's very interesting to see. Like I love the board with the colors because you can see who kind of went like receiver, receiver, receiver.
Sure.
Like I love that. I love your start here. I mean, a really strong start, Rob.
Yeah.
I love the Eagle stack. Can't say enough
Mhm.
about it. Looking at trying to find more yellow on the board, like I feel like you're kind of the only one who really went all in on receiver, and I feel like year in and year out, like that's the strategy that works for best ball.
Especially this time of the year where we have so many running back ones on teams that are still to be decided via
Yeah,
free agency or the draft. So we're not good at predicting those things. I understand that. So let's try and predict the things we are good at predicting, which is wide receiver value early.
receivers.
And then let's just take as many dart throws as possible. Like 7 running backs in the BBM. I'm probably not even taking 6 running backs that many times. But in this scenario, yeah, 2 of those guys are going to completely fall off and give me duds. But if I got
Where you get
5
what?
running backs, say
How
again.
many picks? How many picks you get in BBM? Is 17 or 18?
So it's 20 here, 18 in BBM.
Yeah, so
So
you get two less, right? And so I
yeah,
would
so
I
it's
would
going to be
just
2 less.
shave
So a
those
lot.
off.
It's going to be running back a lot then. But right now, where we have all of these uncertain running back situations, let's invest in that and see what we can
Totally,
capitalize
man.
on. So
I
yeah,
also love the 3 tight end play. Like, there's really only 1 or 2 tight ends that actually will make a difference throughout the entire season, and so if
right.
you don't get one of them, like, I love just grabbing, like, 3 tight ends throughout the course of the draft because one of them every week will probably score at least once. So that's all you need. You need, like 50 yards or, like, a touchdown, right, from a tight end, and so I love that strategy too of the honestly, I might go 4 tight ends in big board
Yeah,
at least, not in BBM, but like in big board, like just grab 4 randoms. I like that strategy a lot. I do not like. I mean, dude, it's Kelsey and I guess Goddard. I guess that's about
yeah.
it.
So if I were to do this over again and try and do a 4 tight end build, I probably go Tucker instead of Dolchich, and then instead of McBride and Brown, I guess that sucks that I just would have missed Bellinger because I would have really liked Juwan Johnson, Bellinger, and then you could do yeah like a Jake Ferguson and then Musgrave. So you have Johnson, Bellinger, even like a Conklin or a Ferguson, and then Musgrave. Like yeah, is 2 of those guys not going to hit? Sure, but if you're getting 2 of those guys to hit from that part of the draft, it makes up for whatever if you were taking uh, wide receiver or if you were taking tight end here at 5 compared to the wide receiver that he had to take of a Richie James or a Curtis Samuel there. It's like give me the tight end that I can get there rather than the wide receiver, especially when it comes to this middle part in drafts. I actually kind of like Kelsey in the top 5, but like Andrews, Kittle, Hawkinson, I just feel it's going to be very difficult for them to outproduce Terry, Allen, DJ Moore, some of these other wide receivers.
Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson
Are you kidding me?
yeah,
Hawkinson.
so I'm not a fan of these tight ends. I'm not going to be able to stop drafting Kyle Pitts just because his upside is just so tremendous, and I'm probably going to lose money on it again. But I'm fine making that risk. But if I don't hit some of these top 5 guys, yeah, maybe I'll get Njoku or Ingram in the 8th. But if not, like let's just wait. Let's just wait and get some of these other guys and load up in this area of the call it 8th to 13th round of these running backs, wide receivers that we kind of are at like after them, we're kind of like, I don't know how I feel about it. Let's get as many of those guys as possible, save the tight ends for later. So I'm total in agreement with you. Going to be a lot of 4 tight end builds, late 4 tight end builds in some of my drafts here. Anything else to kind of add? I don't want to keep you too long. I know
No,
you
I
got
mean,
laundry
like
going.
I'm shouting, dude. I fixed the laundry problem.
There you
I don't
go.
know what it was, but I just kept on. It's like the video game fix. You just like blow in it,
Yeah.
and like the N64. I am just bummed I couldn't hop in here
I
due
know.
to a communication error on behalf of Sam Hochberg.
Yeah.
But no, it's a fun draft. I feel like I don't know much about these rookies, and so kind of listening to you talk about it, I feel like it's really helpful for me because like I have no fucking idea who any of these guys are. I never do. And so now I'll be looking out for a few of these guys, see where they land in the draft, that kind of stuff. Much more excited for BBM. This is my first time doing big board. I've got like 2 or 3 drafts, and honestly, like my ADD kicks in, and I just like can't sit for 20 rounds. It's really a lot, you know what I mean? And so like I struggle with the 20 rounds, but doing it with you guys is always super helpful. And so I'll probably do one tonight if you guys want to link up, but probably not on the stream. Unless I would stream us. I don't give a fuck actually.
Yeah, no, I would definitely hop on a stream. We'll figure it out either way. But much love. I'm gonna try and keep doing this on every Friday for sure if people are trying to tune in. But we'll definitely be doing other ones during the week as the off season progresses. But much love. It was good to regroup. I'm sure we'll chat in the group chat a little bit more. But much love, and talk to you later, brother.
Much love.
Peace.